Howdy, everybody. It's Mike Ryan. Have you heard of Gold Belly? I hope you have, because that means you listen to our show and you know how much I love this amazing site that I order from all the time, where you can get some of the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants all across the U.S., and they will ship it to your front door for free anywhere in the country. I'm telling you, I've received iconic foods from all across the country. Wings, barbecue. It doesn't matter. Gold Belly has me covered. Gold Belly will ship you iconic deep dish pizza from Chicago, from Lou Malnati's, or New York's best, most famous cheesecake from Junior's. If you're craving barbecue, they ship the legendary Franklin's Barbecue straight from Texas to your door. And you have to try the one and only world-renowned stone crab delivered from Joe's right here in Miami. Whether it's a dish from that one-of-a-kind restaurant or meals from world-famous chefs, Gold Belly has you covered. So, if you're looking for that perfect gift, or want to impress your friends and family with an epic meal the next time you host, go to goldbelly.com and get free shipping and 20% off your first order with promo code DAN. That's goldbelly.com, code DAN, for free shipping and 20% off your first order. Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think you could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
We back, and we are joined by the great Lucy Rohden. What's up, Luce? How are you?
Hey, I'm sad I'm not there.
I know. Last
I'm
time
so happy
we were
you're
here,
in Miami.
it was so much fun.
You've never said that before, Lucy.
I know.
That
This
was
is
a great
crazy.
opportunity to play Look at Me, Lucy.
What was it?
That was a great opportunity, was it not?
No.
No.
Do you not know how?
I know what the meaning of it is, but still, I'm like, off of the last conversation that we had about Look at Me Everything? No?
She's got to brag about something first.
Can't force it.
He knows. Get
Okay.
off
Can
my
you explain
man.
the show to him?
Sorry.
I just
This
talking
is my
about.
first day, Lucy. It's good to see you.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi.
You been enjoying the tournament this year? The tournaments,
Yes.
I guess. The
Yes, question mark?
Why the question mark?
It's I think we've gotten like decent basketball and that's all you can want out of a tournament, but obviously there's a little like bummy vibe when you're like, "Oh, okay, here we are, all one seeds in the Final Four, no mid-majors in the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 for the men," and you're just like, "Well, this is okay."
So I had this argument earlier in the week about people talking about how they want the Cinderella. So what's the point? Why do you want the Cinderella? Because of the story, or man, Charlie's gonna chime
This
in.
is the worst take that
shut your
Dominique
trap.
has.
Shut
He's
your
like,
trap.
oh, it's no fun when a Cinderella
say
makes the
it's no
Final Four. I just want to see absolute chalk. We're gonna have one seeds blowing out two seeds in the Elite Eight because then there are better teams.
If you guys don't listen to the Dominique Foxworth show, you'll know that Charlie sets these traps for me where he
You set 'em yourself.
Where he completely mischaracterizes what I say and think that I'm just gonna walk into it, but I'm not gonna do that. So Lucy, how are you, Lucy? So the Cinderellas. What about the Cinderellas do you miss?
I don't know. It's just fun. Like, we haven't really had, every year there's sort of a white boy of March where it's some mid-major school that has this like insane white guy who just shoots like crazy that the
secret's
whole
off.
country falls in love with. He gets a NIL deal with Buffalo Wild Wings or a similar company. Then they lose in the Sweet 16 by a lot to a much better team. And you're like, man, that was awesome.
Remember
that
Dylan?
made me feel something. I sat behind Doug Edert at the Duke game and I was like, I forgot how great this made me feel. Like, it's just like, oh, okay, we have to root for the guys that like, you have everything.
Look at me, Lucy.
There it is.
That works.
My problem is I can tell the future.
Yes,
And I knew the brag was coming.
So I guess Cooper Flag, when you say a white boy, you're not talking about actually a boy who's
No.
white. It's a
No,
different.
it can't be a white boy that we already know about. It has to be an unknown white
be the
boy, a
unanimous
white boy that
best
appeared out of
basketball
nowhere.
player.
Yeah, and
Yeah, we knew about Cooper
Knueppel.
Flag.
Yeah.
Oh, no, because I
Lovable
believe.
underdog
To
Duke?
No.
He can't go to Duke.
His name can't be Cooper.
Yeah.
Because Cooper is the white Jalen. If a black athlete is named Jalen, you know he's good.
You know he's nice.
You know he's the best on the team. And it's now the Cooper is the white guy version of that. So if it's a Cooper, it's
And
like,
that
no,
doesn't
that's
apply to the
that's
name
not what
Con.
we mean.
Also, speaking of which, when I was watching that last game, I had to look up Kager Knueppel just to check the middle name. I had to check the middle name.
Do you know his siblings' names?
No.
They're like he's one like of the themed families where all the siblings have a weird name that starts with K. So it's like Con, Kane. I'm just making them up. I don't remember,
there
but it's
Clay,
weird.
Is there three of them by any
Clay,
chance?
Cole, but all with K's.
Is there 3 siblings total?
I think there's 5. I think they're
thank
like we
goodness.
gotta
Okay.
get these numbers up.
So there was 3 at one point.
At one point.
there was 3.
Hold on.
There was 3 at one point.
His dad and uncles
Nice.
were a
Played in the NBA.
3-on-3 basketball team.
The Flying Knueppels.
The Flying Knueppel brothers. That's incredible.
That is good.
That rules.
Yeah. Chris, you look surprised that
We're
I know
gonna have
about
to vet Wiki here. It might be crowdsourced. I don't know.
No, the
The
Flying.
Flying Knueppels.
Yeah, that was their nickname.
How'd you know it? You said it before he did.
Everybody knew about the Flying Knueppels.
They were one of the best teams, urban legend in the 3-on-3 community.
Everyone loves the Flying Knueppels, and if you want to go see them play, that's a great reason for a trip that you can book with Priceline. Are you dreaming about that trip? Book it and go to your happy price with Priceline to see the Flying Knueppels.
Way to sell, Lucy.
Thank you.
Oh,
Everybody clap.
Now's when you talk again.
Yeah.
She did a thing, and now you go back to doing
Hawk,
the
do you
show.
want to explain
Everybody
the show to him?
Yeah, so when she does that, she's done.
Okay.
And then you come in with the continuation of the conversation.
Wait, hang on. I
Versus
haven't.
kicking it back to her
I have an
to double
update.
down on Priceline.
According to Sporting News, the Flying Knueppel brothers were Con, Clint, Clay, and Cole, but his brothers are Kager, Kinston, Kash, and Kidman.
This is stupid.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What's stupid about it, Roy?
It's just dumb. I'm sorry. No, it's dumb. It's the theme is stupid. I'm sorry. We're not doing this.
How do we?
Too many Ks?
Way too many Ks.
Way too many Ks.
How do we feel generally about like naming conventions for like my brother? Scott, his name starts with a D. So like, is that okay? If it's 2, it's just me and him, and
Okay.
both start with D.
Yeah.
Is that okay? What about
Yeah,
people?
if it's just 2.
What about? I'm going into some scary territory right now because I know that Hawk has twins.
Yeah.
What about when you have twins and they had like rhyming names? Did you go rhyming names with twins?
They don't rhyme.
Okay.
They are both AUs, Autumn and Aubrey. So it's
I
very
feel like with twins though, I'll allow it.
Yeah?
Yeah, with
Okay.
twins I'll allow it because they got here at the same time. What you want me to come up with 2 names?
Yeah, my son's name is also Austin. Is that a little much?
Yeah. Now we're reaching
You're doing
the
it.
quarter now.
You're
The quarter.
doing it.
You're going for something.
Yeah.
And your name is your
Andrew.
and their mother's
All right,
name.
I didn't want to come out and say this, but I am a part of the Knueppel family, basically.
Oh, no.
Because all of my siblings are A's, and all of their kids are A's.
Wow.
And I can't even name them all because I would have to sit here and think about it. But it's Artrell, Alicia, Anika, Avery, Andrew. Our kids
Can you
are
do it in the
Aubrey,
DMX
Autumn,
voice?
Austin, Azare, Atalia, Aria, Aeneas, Adriana.
That's impressive, man.
And it goes on. And my mom's
Too many
name is
A's.
Aletha.
Too many
My
A's.
dad's name is Artrell. So it's literally like 4 generations of every A name you can imagine.
It can only be in the DMX voice from here on out.
Lucy, you have a brother, right?
I do.
Just one brother?
Jack. I have a brother and a sister, Jack and Kate.
Okay, so
Right down the middle there, Lucy. Lucy,
Yeah.
Jack, Kate.
And we're all 4 letters.
Those are
because
the-
my mom
those are the
said our last
Knueppels,
name
by
was
the
so
way.
ugly.
Okay.
They're all going to go to Duke.
Oh,
Everyone.
no.
Oh,
Get used to them.
look at all those.
They're the
They're the
Knueppels.
Plumleys now.
The problem with making Kager Knueppel or trying to make him the white boy of the tournament is not just that he goes to Duke, is that the white boy of the tournament has to go professional in something else. Like
Yes.
Kager Knueppel's going to play in the NBA. You cannot. Has to. You have to see him later in life in a polo and slacks and be like, That name sounds familiar. This guy tried to sell me some insurance. Oh, yeah, you hit 6 threes in 1996.
Yep. I agree. You have to go that NCAA commercial where it says most of the NCAA athletes will go professional in something else. It has to fit that bucket. Otherwise, you're just another great white guy from college basketball that goes and plays in the NBA.
It should be
15 years.
in something else.
In something else.
It just peters out right there. It's something other than sports.
Yes.
No, in something else.
In something else.
Give them some time. And not everybody knows in college.
Remember Jack Golke?
Figure it out. Let the rest.
He played in the G. I think
white
he's
boy
still
of
in
the
the
month.
G.
He's in the G League now.
He's averaging like 3 points a game.
Yeah. Lucy, what am I to do with the SEC narrative, especially when 25% of the ACC teams made the Final Four in the men's side?
Oh, gosh.
There was someone at the Duke-Alabama game that was screaming behind us the whole time of like, you mighty SEC, you don't know what you faced. Obviously, the SEC they were the best team or conference in college basketball this year, and the ACC is ass. Like, it's just objective. And they're just kind of entirely banking on Duke being a good program. I love sort of the theory of the ACC combining with the Big East. I don't know how valid that is, but I think that's something interesting to look at in the future. But
that's something that's been happening.
Yeah.
There have been real conversations there. It does make sense for basketball, no doubt.
The Big
they
East.
need it. Just they're so bad.
The Big East, I know the NIL, there's like new rules coming to NIL with revenue share coming up pretty soon. There's an article I read recently that talked about how the future of basketball in college could be heavily tilted towards the Big East because they do not have football teams. And so when the revenue share situation comes, each school is going to have about $20 million, right?
20, yep.
To split amongst all of their sports. And so in football, it's normally going to be like 80%, 75 to 80% towards football because it's the revenue generating sport in most major schools. And then the rest will be divvied up amongst basketball and the rest of the sports. But the Big East teams, they don't have major football programs. So they're projected to be spending $6, $7, $8 million on their roster per Big East team against the rest of college basketball that will be spending $4 or $5 or maybe $6 million. So we could be looking at a future where the Big East is like the basketball conference, and then the rest of these teams are essentially relegated to being like trying to be spoilers or Cinderellas.
No, I think that's absolutely fair, and I see why the ACC is kind of trying to capitalize on that right now because the ACC has been the premier basketball conference. That is what the ACC is known as, and that has not been the case the last few years. The SEC has completely taken over. The Big 12 has taken over. The ACC just isn't competing the same. Obviously, you can kind of play that into the fact that Roy Williams isn't there anymore, and I know Duke's been very good this year, but there was, concerns about Coach K being gone. But when you look at the ACC right now and just where they stand, where they've just redid their entire revenue model based off of what Clemson and Florida State wanted with football, just because they're in a weird spot where no one seems to be particularly happy, it seems like a good idea to attach another way for teams to make more money, for the ACC to be more competitive, because right now they're just falling behind, and they're grateful that Cooper Flagg decided to go to Duke because that's the entire savior of their conference. Had Cooper Flagg not gone to Duke, had they not been a good team, what would have their tournament appearance been? Clemson losing to McNeese State?
Ugh.
Like, that was it. The ACC is not a good conference. But if the ACC decides to join the Big East, we'll have some great basketball games. And do you know where you should get tickets for those hypothetical basketball games? You should get them for Game Time. Download the Game Time app and redeem code Lucy for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Now you go.
Again.
Look at me, Lucy.
That's an undercover great use.
2 for 2. Use code Lucy.
You cooking, Lucy. I had something to say, but Hawk threw me off.
That's what
You're
I do.
doing really great, man.
We're crushing it, though.
You're doing really great.
It is. It feels good.
The big. So, I got good news. I got good news for you.
Where is this going?
No, I got good news for you, Mike.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, for you.
Okay.
So the article I was talking about, they're gonna introduce a Deloitte-run clearinghouse for NIL deals now.
Yeah, that's not great.
But it's gonna turn out to be good news for you, Mike.
Yeah.
So the clearinghouse is going to make sure that all of the NIL deals are above board and are actually deals for name, image, and likeness, not just ways to funnel money to players. And so this article I was reading was talking about how the salary cap, essentially the revenue sharing, and the the renewed strictness on the NIL deal is going to create a situation where, get excited, Mike, we might be going back to under-the-table deals. Miami's back.
The U is back.
We've been doing just fine with the rules.
Yes.
Yeah,
but you were doing better with the under the table.
I've had a huge issue with the entity that has tried to undermine NIL and lost over 24 court cases fighting NIL. All of a sudden, just having full autonomy over NIL, it doesn't seem right.
Mike,
I'm with you, Mike.
Get your ass under the table where Miami belongs. Y'all love it under the table.
Taylor's there.
Come on, Mike.
I don't think
glory days.
I don't think a clearinghouse may necessarily bring a fair market for the athletes. And also, I'm a little confused. I understand why everybody is marching forward with rev share. There is still things pending. Yeah. The Supreme Court will probably rule on this. And look, there's few things bring both sides together quite like a mutual hatred for the NCAA. They do have. While everyone's just pushing forward as if this is going to be a certainty, there have been Supreme Court justices that have been on the record anti-NCAA, so it's not the slam dunk that they think it is. I'm kind of confused how the whole machine just keeps moving forward as if this is a foregone conclusion. Probably is moving because they feel like they have it. Mm-hmm. And that's why they brought in a politician to oversee the entire thing. But the entire thing makes me feel really bad. And there's so many things going on that people are just going to ignore it. And I think a free market is going to get squashed in this. I don't see how they actually have the time to get to everything. They're going to completely create a new template inside of a couple of months before football season, and think it's going to get messy.
It's not over. It's going to change a number of times in the next few years before we get to some sort of steady state. Combining amateurism with business is never going to work as smoothly as they want. But I think the peak college sport right now is women's basketball. We didn't talk much about that. In part because Juju's out, but I do want to wonder if the South Carolina's close games against great teams like Maryland and other teams, should we be concerned about South Carolina going up? I guess UCLA was the favorite going into the tournament, though, right?
Yeah, so it was a kind of a choose between South Carolina or UCLA for the number 1 overall seed, and UCLA does have a head-to-head win over South Carolina. I personally thought South Carolina should have gotten the number 1 overall seed, but the way South Carolina has played in this tournament hasn't necessarily helped that case. So South Carolina beat Duke yesterday 54-50. They had almost as many turnovers as baskets in this game. It was not a stereotypical South Carolina win. They had a similar style of game against Maryland the week before, where they're eking out these close wins. They were down at half to Maryland, and then in the round of 32, the same thing happened with Indiana. They were down at half again. It was the first time, and I can't tell you how long, that South Carolina had trailed at halftime for multiple games within the tournament. Obviously doesn't matter, though. They're advancing to their fifth straight Final Four. It's one of those things where you can look at this South Carolina team the way you probably haven't been able to the last few years, and it's very obvious they have some glaring weaknesses. They're very beatable. However, watching any of those games, I was hoping for an upset because it'd be fun, but the entire time I knew South Carolina is going to win. Dawn Staley, South Carolina, they have a tendency to squeak out these close games whenever they're playing in them, which they haven't been doing much over the last few years. But this is a team that got their ass kicked against UConn and has been pretty much unstoppable since. Got to the tournament and now has been playing with their food a little bit. I think with Juju getting hurt, obviously that opens up some area for South Carolina. It's probably going to be a South Carolina-UConn Final Four. Obviously, UCLA has looked really good. I think they looked great against LSU, and I think the key to how good they looked against LSU was that Lauren Betts was in foul trouble and someone else stepped up, and that's what UCLA needs. I can't tell you how many times I've turned on a UCLA game and you see the little stat in the corner that's Lauren Betts, her stat line, rest of team, and they're always the same. So I just think that even though they've been messing around, it's South Carolina, and I'm not gonna doubt South Carolina. They are a great basketball team. They're just playing kind of ugly right now, but who cares if you win?
Yeah, I think Duke plays that style of basketball where it's defense heavy. They're going to force you to turn the ball over, and they're really going to limit your ability to make shots. And half of the South Carolina team is really young. Like, it's a very mixed age group right now, and a lot of the players that were on the team last year, primarily like Camila Cardoso, who is a WNBA lottery pick, she's gone. So they're trying to fill in with a couple players that are a little bit younger. But if Texas or TCU wins tonight, I think South Carolina is going to be favored over either one of them. They just beat Texas 2 weeks ago in the SEC championship and completely destroyed them. So I think that if you're unfamiliar with the style of play of Duke women's basketball, that's sort of the kind of game that you expect. They try to give themselves a chance by keeping it in there with defense and having these super low scoring rock fight games. But South Carolina ultimately is just the better team, so they won.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was dealing with piles of paperwork and frustrating forms, and then waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money back. Now Taxes is easily uploading your forms to a TurboTax expert who's matched to your unique tax situation, an expert who's backed by the latest technology, which cross-checks millions of data points for 100% accuracy. While they work on your taxes, you get real-time updates on their progress, and then you get the most money back, guaranteed. All while you go about your day. No stressing, no worrying, no waiting. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Weather is starting to warm up. Regular season starting to wind down. Games of consequence in sports starting to ramp up. I know what you're going to need by your side. It's by my side already. Miller Lite. Yeah, that's right. I'm making my springtime a Miller time. I'm making my sports time Miller time. Going to a car race? Miller time. Gonna see some tennis? Miller time. Gonna chill in the backyard with some friends and make some memories? Miller time. I love Miller Lite because it's got taste that I know I can depend on. No games, no gimmicks. It's that simple, folks. It's just a great beer for people who like beer. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than the other light beers. It's got simple ingredients, and at just 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces, Miller Time is always a good time. The original light beer since 1975, and still the very best one. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Hey friends, it's Jer Bear here, and I'm here to tell you all about Boost Mobile, which is now a legit nationwide 5G network. So I must take a break from the jokes here for a second and put on my serious voice, because I would never ever joke about a 5G network that has invested billions building 5G towers across the country. Not even once. Not even if Mr. Boost Mobile himself asked me to. There is nothing funny about it. Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network and also provides coverage across 99% of America. Seriously. Visit boostmobile.com or your nearest Boost Mobile store location to learn more. The Boost Mobile network, together with our roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds, not available in all areas.
Don Batard.
I just texted my best friend Hannah and asked her who she thinks is going to win tonight. Wow. And she has never watched a hockey game this entire season. She's picking the Rangers. And she's an astrophysicist. She's real smart.
I'll text Joey.
Dan, you know what I found out about Hannah today? An anagram.
Stugotz.
You said Anna or Hannah?
Hannah.
Okay, I don't know.
Anna, too, depending on how you spell it.
Phil
Even
McCarthy.
though if there's two N's, it's also an anagram. Same with one N, Anna. Anagrams are fun. Race
Hanagram.
car. A hanagram.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Lucy, do me a favor. You got your phone near you?
Yes.
Okay, look
always.
up.
And look at my phone case.
What kind of question is that?
Ooh, nice phone case.
Isn't that cute?
It's very cute. Where'd you find it?
Casetify, no free.
Oh, okay. It was. I mean, I think stories behind where you find things are normally more interesting than I just bought it, but it's fine.
I just bought it.
So, go to your Uber and find your Uber rating. While you're doing that, Charlie, I also contacted Pablo, Dan, and David Sampson to get their Uber rating. So, Charlie, please run down the list of ranking who you think has the highest to worst Uber rating. Hold on, Lucy. Don't tell us yours yet. But,
I have it.
But, Charlie, you have it? You ready? All right, Charlie. Run them down.
I'm starting at the top, highest to lowest.
Okay,
this
so
is a better reveal.
Number 1. Okay.
I'm going Hawk.
Ooh.
Football players are on time.
He's a receiver, though.
Oh, it's a good point.
He's a receiver.
But
And I feel like everyone's on my time, always.
all right, well, I put you in the number 1 spot. That might be hand up my bad.
Okay. Just be honest with you, man.
Number 2.
I get there when I get there. That's just my life mantra.
Wow. You and
He's a receiver.
I'm just telling you, man. Party starts when I get
I've
there.
spent so much time with Dominique where he just gives me legitimate anxiety for being 10 minutes early to stuff that I just assume this was a full football trait. We've had Mike Golick Jr. on our show before, and he's also there 15 minutes early, but he's a guard, and a guard's sort of like a slot corner.
Yeah,
like where.
Let me rephrase that. If somebody else is paying, yes, 10 minutes early is late. If I'm paying, I get there when I get there.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, so Uber, like,
hey,
I'll be down there.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
I like peek out the window for an Uber to make sure I don't make them wait because
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Nah,
it's problematic.
Well, I'll save my Uber stories till after you get to your list because I want to know what you think.
Number 2, I'm putting Jess.
Jess. Shocking.
I like Jess at 2.
Why is that shocking?
I don't know. I guess it's just my own experience with my wife. The Uber rating is not. I mean the.
No, keep talking.
No. I'm with Dominique on this.
No, don't do it, man. Don't do this.
No,
to yourself.
I'm with Dominique on this.
No, that's where this goes.
It's a trap.
I have the same issue. I know what it is. I got the same issue.
They're women.
No. Give my man a 5. Don't leave him hanging. I've told my wife, when we're going out, you call the Ubers. Because I hate making the Uber driver wait. When we go out, you call the Ubers. When we're coming home, you call the Ubers. I ain't calling no damn Uber because I've called it a couple times and you make me look like an asshole. I got to walk out there and sit in the Uber for 5 minutes and make conversation with this guy because I feel like a jerk.
Hawk, that's why I'm peeking out the window. Because I need to know when I have to go and have the conversation to, buy the extra 5 to 7 minutes.
Nothing worse than having to have the conversation.
That's my move, though. You go out there and you're like apologizing to your group. You're like, sorry about these people. They're coming. I know they're in the bathroom. I told them to come outside. This is my rating it. Please don't.
Me and your wife are from the same fraternity because I am how much time do we have? 15 minutes? 10 minutes? Okay, cool. At minute 9, go put my luggage in the car. Because then they won't pull off with my luggage. And then I got them locked in. And then we wait another 10 minutes until I'm finished with this phone call.
Your Uber rating is definitely the worst. All right. Charlie, rattle through. Hopefully
all right, I'm
some more.
I'm going to go a little bit faster now. Dominique is 3rd. Respect for time. Yep. 4th, I'm going with Billy, who I think is oddly polite with strangers. 5th, I'm going with Roy.
I don't like where we're going with
Billy?
this.
We don't have
down the list.
I don't know that I have Billy's, but okay.
Okay. 5th, I'm going with Roy. I feel like he's never, ever been like, hey, actually, you took a wrong turn. Actually, there's a better route. He's just cool with it.
What did I do to you, Charlie?
We'll get to you, Big Red. 5th, I'm going with myself because I know my Uber rating. 6th, I'm going with Lucy. I think she's probably got some 1 stars in college.
I think your numbers are off,
maybe a couple issues.
That's actually fair.
Yeah. The young people are tough. 7th, I'm going with Tony. I feel like he probably
I'm worse than Tony?
Yeah. Tony's like, have you heard this Joe Rogan podcast? I think we should put it on.
Hear that JFK thing?
Yeah. 8th is Mike, Mr. Oxcord himself.
Horseshit.
9th is Chris. Chris, I think.
How many people are on this list?
Chris, have you paid the $250 fine for throwing up in the back?
No.
Be honest.
I have not.
Oh, Lucy has.
Twice.
Wow.
I'm liking my chances now.
Yeah.
Love the University of Iowa. Go Hawks. Great time.
Someone below me, huh?
Chris is actually 10th, just so you know your numbers are a little
Actually, I am going to bump Chris down to 10. Because I forgot David Sampson has to go somewhere higher just because I know he's standing outside anxiously 1 minute before the Uber arrives and walks and goes, hey, how was your day?
No. That's not a good take. Because if the Uber is late, he's giving him hell. The app said you'd be here 2 minutes ago.
No. I'm telling you this from the Jewish diaspora anxiety thing.
Okay.
David is more worried about his Uber rating than anyone else on this list. He cares more about it.
And yet you have him at 11.
No, I moved him up. That was my bad. I forgot to include him.
All right.
Let's put him 5th, right behind Roy.
Okay.
I put Dan as not applicable. I'm shocked if he has the Uber app on his phone or knows how to call an Uber. There's just no fucking way.
I imagine Dan like on the wrong side of the hotel. Like, I don't know where to go.
He also definitely has a black car driver that he knows that he calls and schedules the night before he needs to.
Is that a black car driver or a black car driver? Either way, I'm not sure.
That was also some Dan wordplay.
Thank you.
There we go.
Slam Dan is in the building.
The spirit is
His
strong
name is actually
here.
Leroy.
All right, can we reveal now?
But he's white.
Can we reveal our numbers so I can get a victory lap here?
Well, all right. We got Pablo and David too.
I got two
I'm
more.
not the last.
Next is Pablo. He is always late, and I just do not think he cares about his Uber rating or about drivers having to wait for him or about him,
The rule for Pablo is if you ain't famous, I don't fool with you.
That's a crazy mantra.
If there's no value for it, he's not gonna give his best.
He got it tatted on his chest.
And the last one's a mean. Like, come on, give me a break. Wow. Give me a break, man.
Spit take.
That's fair.
Hard to argue.
Just him mumbling drunkenly to an Uber driver for a 30-minute ride to the airport every time he leaves Miami.
Somebody texted me to see if he could get us his Uber rating, because I did text him. I just text Pablo, David, and Dan. All right, now we got it. Let's go around the room.
Who's going to pencil this list in?
I'll write him down.
All right, this is tough.
Starting with you, Charlie. What's your rating?
487.
Imagine that.
Ooh. All right. Mike.
It's real bad. That's real bad.
What is it?
Show me your phone.
It's 4.75.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's real bad, huh?
It's I've been building it up. At a certain point, I was like, all right, let me just start over. I'll be a Lyft guy. I got to reclaim my reputation here because I'm always the guy that gets the Uber XL for the group.
Can I make a choice whether to do Lyft or Uber?
Nope.
Okay. It has to be Uber.
Oobs only.
All right.
Oh, come on. Both of them.
Jessica?
I've worked really hard on my reputation on Lyft.
I have a perfect 5.0.
There's no way.
Get out of here, Smetty Wop. Woo!
You might be the first person I've ever heard of
That's impressive.
to have a 5.0 Uber rating.
Roy, what you got, buddy?
Well, for Lyft, I have a 5.0.
No one asked about that.
I asked about
And
that.
for Uber, I have a 4.97.
Get him, Roy.
Superlative.
So I don't know who that one driver was, but you can kiss my ass.
That was probably the guy who did the voiceovers.
Yeah.
Chris?
Mine's higher than Charlie's.
Ooh.
4.92.
492.
Charlie forgets how
Well
just
done.
how damn nice I am.
You
to
are
people.
affable
I'm
as
just
hell,
friendly.
man. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? How's your night going?
You probably start with a 4 because you wobble in there drunk and
I'm
mad.
sorry, man. I'm a little drunk today.
But then once they
you having a good night though? You having a good
Chris
night?
also revealed to us once that when the Uber drivers are talking to him about like weird stuff, he'll just kind of nod along and
Oh, yeah.
smile and agree with them, even
I'm
when
in.
they're saying
whatever you're
crazy
selling,
things.
I'm buying.
Down the middle, Chris. It's like, oh, conspiracy theory? Give me some of that.
And look at me, I get a lot of it.
I hadn't thought of it that way. Great point.
Vaccines, smack scenes, baby.
Black people are so loud, man. It's crazy.
See that guy wearing a mask? I can't believe he's still wearing a
the
mask.
same thing. So.
All right, Lucy, what's your rating?
I'm a 496.
Ooh.
Despite what I did in college, I think that's the most impressive.
That is incredible.
To have thrown up in an Uber 3 times. and
Only
gotten that
twice.
far-
Only
Okay,
twice. Speak.
sorry.
No.
Hey,
To have thrown up in an Uber
hold
twice.
on.
Gotten that fine.
In your defense, Hawk, if you throw it up in the Uber 2 times, you probably don't remember the other 2 times. you did
Exactly.
it.
I completely agree.
You got 4 oob vomits.
To remember 2 of them with the fine. And there's got to be some you didn't get fined for, like a couple words that, and it just splattered on the seat in front of you, and you just left as if you didn't know because he didn't see it. I'm
It
almost
hasn't happened
positive.
in 5 years.
All right.
Oh, I love that. Comeback player of the year. All right. Andrew, I'm nervous, man. I saved you for last.
I'm not as bad as Mike. I'm not great.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I'm 4.78. I tip well too, though.
That was my 40 time. high school.
Yeah, okay, that's. Yep,
There's no
that'll
such
do it.
thing as an accurate high school 40 time.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely
just
not.
so
this
you
one
know.
was-
So
this
you
was-
were
this was-
five
this was
flat.
like- No, it was 4.7.
I'm just letting you know.
It's like a full second faster than Restrepo.
I ran a 4.3 in high school and then got to college
There's
and
no
they
way.
clocked me and they was like 4.6.
Yeah, you got
as a
faster,
freshman.
stronger, and lost 0.3 in
It
your
was like
40.
4.6. All right. Well, let me see who we got here. So Lucy and Charlie. Oh no, Charlie, what was yours? 8.7?
4.87.
4.87.
Okay.
Yep.
So Pablo is a 8.4. 4.84. Dan is a 4.85.
That's Valerie.
Dan is a 4.85. And David is a 4.87.
Put me next to you at your darkest moment, Mr. Uber driver.
It's a good impression. This is tough. Can we do Lyft next? Can we please do Lyft next?
No.
Can we please?
Hold on. So
Can get higher than I
so
am.
Lucy's thrown up in multiple cars, and yet Uber drivers around the country are like, we'd rather have Lucy than Mike.
Honestly, bro.
Lucy is a lot like Chris, I think, is that they're probably really fun to talk to and the Uber drivers like them. Well, the ones.
Well, that's because I lie.
You lie?
See?
Just like
All the
Chris.
time.
That's
I
how
just
you
make
do
up
it.
crazy stories.
You guys
What are you guys
They
getting?
say-
Are you guys getting into life debates with your Uber drivers? Just let them talk.
Yeah.
Not alone.
No. You guys
If they
are
say
perpetual.
batshit stuff, I have to say something.
No, you
Thank you,
guys.
Lucy.
One time an Uber was like, I think you would love this girl. Her name is Candace Owens. And I had to be like, no, we're not doing this.
And
Stephen A. was your driver?
Love CO.
Perpetuate people pleasers is what you guys are. Like,
you don't have to be.
yeah,
Stand up for yourself.
Hold on.
Not
you know
Lucy.
why?
Not Lucy.
You guys should be taking advice from me, first of all, because I have
Yeah.
a perfect score. The way to do this is just you don't talk. You just sit there and you nod and you smile politely. That's all you do.
I never have very long conversations with the Uber drivers. It's cool, but I am a part of the .9 crew. I got a 4.9. No, who else? It's me. It's Charlie, Lucy, right?
Not Charlie.
I mean, not Charlie.
Yep.
Excuse me, Chris, Lucy, and the boy Roy. Yeah, .9 boy.
is Roy short for Leroy?
No.
Okay.
Roycef, actually. No.
Roy Sif. Roy Tholomew.
No.
Roy Alexander.
No.
I like how you made 4.9 a crew
Roy
just because
Thazar.
you're in it.
No.
That is the unconscious bias that America is built on of like, oh, if this is my thing, other people have done it to make it more important than everyone else. Because it's not a 5. We have a 5.0, so there's no reason to call out a 4.9 crew, but yet he made it a thing to
We all
where,
know the 4.9s are strong. We can all agree.
You got to treat it like a 40 time in high school.
Yes.
You round
Okay.
up.
There
Not
you
as
go.
strong as a 5, but
Yeah.
Roymond.
No.
Not strong as a 5. Get out of here.
what would your hockey nickname be, Roy?
Roy.
Roy Yee.
Roy, probably.
The King.
Bells.
Belly.
Belly.
Bells.
Oh, it'd definitely be Belly or Bells.
Yeah.
Good call.
Hawk would just be Hawk because they
Yeah,
wouldn't add a
that's-
Y to that because it'd be like hockey? No,
Yeah,
we
no,
can't.
you can't call hockey and hockey. That's nuts.
All right, Luce. Thanks for
Crazy.
joining us. I'm gonna let you fly. I appreciate it. What's your shirt say?
It says chaos.
That's what I thought. Oh,
Lacrosse
Lacrosse Club. All right, Luce. You got anything else you want to sell before you go?
No, I already did a great job.
You did an awesome job. Bye, buddy.
Thank you. Bye.
So, what's the most surprising score?
We don't have Samson's score.
I gave you Samson's score. Samson had a very high score.
4.8 something. I was actually surprised at how low his was.
Yeah, he had a 4.87. He's not a .9 boy.
Same as me. That's
Him
a
and Charlie.
tough scene.
Yeah.
Real tough scene.
Yep.
What do you do in Ubers? How do you ruin your?
Do you guys mark no conversation on your Uber?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
I mark no conversation, and my wife will tell me I'm hard on it because I do not want to talk. Not because it's more my social anxiety because the whole having to get to the conversation, and I'm typically doing something else. I want to work in the Uber.
There's only certain places where Uber drivers tend to talk more than not talk.
Yeah.
It's very city dependent. You get in
Okay.
an Uber in a big city, generally, you're not really chit-chatting. You get in an Uber, maybe you're on a work trip somewhere. It's a little smaller town. They're like kind of curious about you. Why are you coming to my town?
Yeah.
That's where the conversations happen.
In Miami, they're on the phone. And like you'll learn it like 4 minutes in, you'll just hear them like,
Yep.
The Uber driver, yeah.
And like, oh, are they talking to me? Oh no, they're on the phone.
So the
Okay.
person's just on speaker and they're just like listening along.
Yeah.
Just listening along the whole ride. Like they're not actually communicating, but he's just like, I'm here for you.
Man.
7 minutes in, they're like, yeah, I agree with that. And it's like, who are they talking to?
Are you? So Mike is the worst.
Mike's friends.
Yeah, Mike's friends.
I mean,
I will allow Mike.
I'm almost exclusively Lyft too. So
Yeah, okay, Mike.
that's like out of 7 rides.
That makes it worse.
You're the only one. You're the only one. I'll allow you to introduce your Lyft.
Why?
Score because
I was right behind him. We're part of the 4.7 gang.
that is
That's
nothing to be proud of.
4.7, bro.
Proud of.
I am
It's more exclusive than the 4.9.
5.0 in Lyft.
You sure?
For like close to 800 rides, yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
You're not.
I
an
worked
asshole.
hard on that. I worked hard on that because I found out one time, like my Uber driver told me, your rating's pretty low. I'm like, what? I was shocked to hear that. And then I was like trying to figure out exactly how I got to that point. I'm like, I'm never really the problem, am I?
How low was your rating?
At that point, it was like in the 5.
What?
It was like
0.5?
4. Yeah, 4.5. So I'm really doing a lot of work on myself.
Yeah, good job.
And it's just because he wouldn't stop talking about Miami Hurricanes football.
When I say no conversation, it's to protect my rating.
I have also 5.0 in Lyft, in case you were wondering.
I was wondering.
Okay.
They hand those out on that thing.
Yeah, apparently.
Everyone 5.0 on Lyft.
They tried to get you guys to come over, but
steal the car in order to get a bad
some
rating.
of your Lyft ratings out, because for some of you, there's only one way to go.
I don't even have Lyft.
Yeah, I don't know that I even have Lyft. I feel like I downloaded it at one point.
My name on my Uber is also not my name, so I wouldn't even be able to prove that it's my profile.
Do you have a fake name like Roy?
Yes.
So does Pablo.
You guys don't go fake names? on
Roy's
Uber?
name's Jack Spade.
Yeah, I'm going to get you, sucker.
So, I mean, the point of having
seriously.
a fake name, you can't say.
He checks in hotels.
Yeah,
as Jack Spade.
say the name
you
on air.
can't say the name. Isn't that the point?
Yeah, it is. So people don't know your identity. You can't now give it away that you are Jack Spade on all your rideshare apps.
Every hotel I go in, is there a Jack Spade sitting in here?
Which of these is the most surprising? I feel like, Jess's 5.0 shocked me. That's incredible.
I'm not like your wife, it turns out.
Apparently not.
We're different.
But Uber was around when you were in college.
No.
So, it's
And
just...
I was very respectful.
I would like to ask for a retroactive 90s pardon for being sexist.
That was,
I just would like a sexist pardon.
We didn't
at some point. You don't have to
dig into how sexist
Can the
that
pardon
got?
be granted because Lucy's is still the most shocking? 496 with a double boot.
Well, you know what? Maybe they're
that's nuts.
maybe they're really smart about when they order the Uber. Like maybe she's not feeling great. Like you should probably get this one, so it goes on someone else's
Yeah.
ratings because I'm not at my best.
Also, how many rides? We should also put that into consideration because if you only have 2 Uber rides and you have a high rating, I'm less impressed.
Yeah.
Whereas if I have in the 4.7 gang for life, and I've had
hopefully not for life.
for life, never getting out of the
5.0s in
4.7
Lyft.
gang.
Asterisk.
Yeah, we should see how many rides you have.
How do you do that?
I don't know. My Lyft tells me right away.
Lyft tells me, yep, Lyft
I have
is perfect.
106 Lyft rides.
I would love. Did anybody text Amin and find out? Amin and Tony. So maybe I guess in the next segment we'll get an Amin and Tony because somebody has to undercut my buddy Mike. I believe that between Amin and Tony, one of them is gonna get under Mike, right?
Man, that's pretty low. That's a pretty low rating.
Who do you think is lower, Amin or Tony?
Amin.
Yeah.
I think Amin is lower for sure.
I think Tony's lower. Just because I felt bad the way that y'all all jumped on my dog.
No, Tony could be a charmer.
Yeah, fair point. And Tony's,
But think about his friends.
I have a text from Pablo. Ask Mike if his Uber driver handed him a survey full of the anonymous thoughts of other Uber drivers that drove him in an attempt to make him more likable. Your thoughts?
I don't want to indirectly talk to Pablo. Weather is starting to warm up. Regular season starting to wind down. Games of consequence in sports starting to ramp up. I know what you're going to need by your side. It's by my side already. Miller Lite. Yeah, that's right. I'm making my springtime a Miller time. I'm making my sports time Miller time. Going to a car race? Miller time. Gonna see some tennis? Miller time. Gonna chill in the backyard with some friends and make some memories? Miller time. I love Miller Lite because it's got taste that I know I can depend on. No games, no gimmicks. It's that simple, folks. It's just a great beer for people who like beer. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than the other light beers. It's got simple ingredients, and at just 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces, Miller Time is always a good time. The original light beer since 1975, and still the very best one. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.